Hi, friends. I'm Otis Gibbs, and I'm sitting here in my home in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'd like to welcome you to the Roundup. Rounder Records is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. That's 50 years of putting great music out into the world. And today we have a very special guest to help us celebrate some of that music, Mr. Steve Martin. He's released quite a few records on Rounder over the years, and he's been a constant source of joy and entertainment for most of my life. I highly recommend you go watch his lyric video for a song called California. I guarantee it'll put a smile on your face. So ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from parts unknown, please welcome Rounder Records recording artist, Steve Martin.
Action!
Thank you, Otis. Steve Martin here. You know, in my 40 years in the movie business, I've learned to develop an amazing home camera technique that I'm excited to be able to use here today. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're admiring the inlay on my banjo neck. I get it. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here today because it's the 50th anniversary of Rounder Records. When I was just a young kid, Rounder was always my go-to label for folk music and bluegrass, blues, different kinds of things. And now I'm excited to play a little ditty and introduce the incredible Sierra Hull. Here is Sierra Hull.
Thank you so much, Steve, and hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Roundup. I'm so honored to get to be part of this. I want to kick things off by playing a song off of my new record that just came out a couple months ago on Rounder. This is called Middle of the Woods. In the middle of the woods, once upon a time, I read a few pages in a book of rhyme. It said I want to love the people who love to be deceitful, who love to lie. And if I want to know your secrets and I can't stay safe or sound, I want the truth where I can see it, even if I hit the ground. Won't you whisper in my ear, so I can hear you better? With all these voices in my head, I haven't heard a word you said. Upon a day, I tried my best to figure out the words to say. With a stumble and a fall, then a heaven phone call, I found my way. But if I want to know your secrets, then I can't stay safe or sound. Ain't no good to disbelieve it, 'cause they say the world is round. Won't you whisper in my ear, so I can hear you better? With all these voices in my head, I haven't heard a word you said. once upon a time. Oh, so that is Middle of the Woods. That's track 2 on the newest album, 25 Trips, on Rounder Records. And I just want to say it's an honor to get to be on a label that's celebrating 50 years. Geez, what an accomplishment. So congrats, Rounder. I know that I have certainly been proud to get to be a part of this label for my entire career. I first signed with Rounder when I was probably 13 years old, and released my first album when I was 16, an album called Secrets. And then just 2 months ago, released my 4th album on the label, 25 Trips, that's it back there. And I mean, as a kid, I remember being so excited anytime I got an album that had that Rounder label on it, because I knew it was going to be great. First discovered Alison Krauss when I was 9 years old. And I dreamed of being on this label because she was on this label, and people like Tony Rice and so many of my bluegrass heroes. And so I'm so happy to get to help celebrate 50 years of Rounder Records here today. So I'm gonna play several songs off of this new album. This next one is it's the first track on the record. And I wrote this song right here in this very room. I'm coming to you from my office space here in Nashville. And it's been kind of a crazy couple months. I'm sure everybody's feeling that. But I wrote this when I was having a period of anxiety and confusion and not really sure what I needed to do next. And I found myself one morning venting to my husband about all of it. And he ended up saying to me, "Sierra, I believe in you. At some point, though, you're really just going to have to learn to believe in yourself." And something about those words just really clicked with me in that moment. And so I started kind of thinking about it all, and this song kind of fell out. Sometimes I've learned that beauty is really all around us, and sometimes it's hard to see. And maybe you've been feeling a little bit anxious too in these crazy times, and feeling like there's no beauty within you or around you. But sometimes it takes something kind of like this or somebody to remind you. So this is beautifully out of place. You believe in me, but I can't see what you see. How long is it gonna take me to trust myself? I've been stuck here so long, gotta find a way to move on. I gotta get on out of here. I gotta let go of this fear. Oh, I swore I'd never let it go this far. Now another year, I'm stuck here in the dark. Maybe I'm beautifully out of place, like the moon hides out in the sunlit day. When morning comes, I won't be afraid. Maybe I'm beautifully out of place, and it won't be long till I find my way. At least that's what you say. can't see what you see. How long is it gonna take me to trust myself? Beautifully out of place. So I started playing guitar about 9 months or so after I picked up the mandolin when I was a little kid. And gosh, talk about so many guitar heroes and guitar projects along the way that have come out on Rounder Records. So I'm going to play a few songs on the guitar, a couple songs on the guitar today. This next one is another one off of the new album, and I wrote this song with my friend Kai Welch here in Nashville, a great singer-songwriter. And it kind of takes me back to those early years. I've always been a little afraid of heights, and I told Kai one day, we had a co-write, I was telling him this story about how when I was little, my dad used to actually pick me up and hold me up kind of close to the ceiling and tell me to just reach up there and touch it. And of course, I was always scared, trying to do that. But I never imagined putting this into a song and even digging deeper into that idea until we wrote that day. And got to have the legendary Paul Franklin play steel guitar on this song. This is called Ceiling to the Floor. I'm a little scared of heights. Been that way all my life. My daddy held me to the ceiling, and I still recall the feeling of holding on too tight. Then he'd laugh at me and say, darling, you don't have to feel that way. I've got my feet here on the ground. Go on and just reach up there now. It's really not that far from the ceiling to the floor. Now on this early morning flight from up here in the sky, maybe I'm finally letting go from the 22nd row, 30,000 feet below the ceiling to the floor. And if I'm falling down, oh, if I'm falling down, just go on and let me fall. I know it's not that far from the ceiling to the floor. I never used to mind all this standing in the spotlight. My voice would reach up past the curtains, and I always felt so certain. I always felt so right. But now I'm learning to confess, when I feel a little nervous, it's better to look up than down when he's not here with me now to remind me of how if I'm falling down, oh, if I'm falling down, just go on and let me fall. I know it's not that far from the ceiling to the floor. Oh man, I remember right after we wrote that, all I could do was cry. It's funny how songs really can take us back to different times in our childhood and sort of the things that we learn later as adults. All right, I'm going to play you one more off of the new album. This is the title track, actually. The album's called 25 Trips, and it's largely themed around this idea of time and all the different ways that time can make us feel. And I know personally my concept of time has been really screwed up lately. I don't seem to ever know what day it is or what hour it is. So it's been sort of an adjustment. And I think that's interesting because I found myself at times wishing that I could go ahead and hurry up and get on to the next phase. And I think I've sort of been feeling that way a little bit lately. But it's funny because this song is really all about wanting time to slow down. And there's even a lyric in this song that says, "Hello, time, will you slow down?" And well, I feel like I probably got my wish, but we always want what we can't have, right? So, but this is also, this song was largely written off of this improvised riff that I just sort of started playing and singing here at the house one day. And so it largely kind of came together just through sitting around kind of jamming and improvising. And it's funny because I feel like the melody very much represents some of the way internally I've been feeling these last couple of months as well. So anyway, this is 25 Trips. 25 trips around the sun is long enough to make a fool out of anyone. Oh, I've tried to keep my head on straight to navigate the fate. I've done my best to wait, but the clock is back up on the wall, and even if I choose to look away, the hand will fall and the time will just keep ticking. Oh, hello time, will you slow down? This is the best day of my life right now. Oh, hello time, are you listening? If I close my eyes, I'll be missing it. If you hear me, will you slow down? If you hear me, will you slow down? 25 trips. And so that is the title track, again, off of the newest album. So I wanted to share some of those songs with you today. But gosh, in celebrating Rounder and just the amazing history that they have and the number of albums that they have put out that have absolutely helped shape me as a musician. I mean, I could probably do 10 of these episodes just playing music from those albums that I love so much. I mean, discovering Alison Krauss at 9 years old, her becoming one of my biggest heroes and later mentors. The first time I ever got to meet Tony Rice, who's, perhaps, one of the biggest influences in my entire life, musically, definitely is. First time I got to meet Tony, Allison brought me on the Grand Ole Opry with her and with Tony Rice too, and I got to share the stage with him, which was pretty amazing. But I remember being, probably even before I started playing mandolin, I remember hearing my dad listening to a Tony Rice tape, and he had this old Ford Ranger truck, and I remember we would drive around and listen to this tape called Church Street Blues, and that was really my introduction to Tony Rice. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this guy? This is so great. And I've absolutely worn that album out over the years. And I remember when I was a little kid, my dad came in and he was really bummed one day because the truck had ate the tape. We were devastated. I think I even cried. But thankfully later we found a copy on CD. And I don't know, I cherish the memories of listening back on this music. And in fact, I found myself just listening to Tony's catalog a few days ago and literally just sobbing, because this is the music that really made me want to be an artist myself and find my own path. And so what a stylist he was. Anyway, I just love Tony's music, all those albums, but since this was some of the first Tony Rice music I ever heard, and from the first album, and probably one of his more known songs, written by Norman Blake, but one that Tony very much popularized. I figured I would do this one. So this is Church Street Blues, and of course I remember learning this from the Tony Rice instructional guitar DVD when I was a kid. But nobody can play it like him, but I'm gonna give it a go. Charlotte Street, Lord, the green lights look red. I wish I was back home on the farm, Lord, in my feather bed. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street Blues. Lord, I gave me a nickel to the poor, my good turn for the day. Folded up my old billfold and threw it far away. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street Blues. this old Martin box and go and join some band. But I guess I'm gonna stay right here and pick and sing a while. Try to make me a little change and give them folks a smile. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I can lose these thin time, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. Thank you, Rounder Records. Thank you, Tony Rice. Thank you for all the wonderful music you've made through the years. And I just wanted to say I played this very guitar because this is one of the few instruments that I've actually had a hero sign Tony's signatures on there. On this, I don't know if you guys can see it, but congratulations, Rounder Records. Thank you for believing in me all these years as an artist, and for continuing to put out great music. And of course, I want to send a special thank you out to the Rounder founders as well, Ken, Bill, and Marion, who I've known since I was a little kid. So thank you guys. Thanks to all the new team. And thanks to everybody for watching the Rounder Roundup. I hope you guys will continue to check out all the great episodes that are yet to come. So see you soon.
That right there was the fantastic Sierra Hall. There's so much to say about Sierra that it's hard to know where to start. She's been known to collaborate with folks like Sam Bush, Jerry Douglas, Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle, Tommy Emmanuel, and even Alison Krauss. Alison brought her on the Opry stage for the first time when she was just 12 years old, and she signed with Rounder when she was 13. It's no wonder the IBMA named her the first ever female recipient of the Mandolin Player of the Year award. And if that wasn't enough, she went on to win it 3 years in a row. She was even nominated for Best Folk Album at the Grammys a few years back. The first 4 songs you heard were off her latest album, 25 Trips, which came out earlier this year. And the last song she played was Church Street Blues. That song was written by the great Norman Blake, and it first appeared on his 1976 Rounder Records release, Whiskey Before Breakfast. Norman first made a name for himself by playing guitar for folks like Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, Chris Christopherson, and John Hartford, just to name a few. Church Street Blues was later made even more famous by the great Tony Rice when it became the title track of his 1983 album. It was released by Sugar Hill, which later merged with Rounder. Both of those albums are a master class in guitar picking. Simply put, Tony Rice and Norman Blake are 2 of the greatest guitar players to ever walk on this earth. Do yourself a favor and check out these albums. There's quite a few treasures to behold. I've always assumed that Church Street Blues was about Church Street, which runs through downtown Nashville, but I've never known for sure. Hopefully I'll get to one day ask Norman that question in person. Thank you for helping us celebrate Rounder's 50th anniversary, and thank you for continuing to support our friends at Music Cares. Please tune in next week when our guest is Logan Ledger. I caught Logan live last year in Austin, Texas, and I'm telling you, you're going to dig this one. So until next week, please take care of each other, hug your kids, tell them you love them, and stay safe out there. And thanks for watching the Roundup.